Okay.
And it just started. All right.
We are a go.
Welcome back to the We Need to Talk About It podcast. A podcast for married couples. And you know what? It's been so long since we've done the podcast. I don't even remember the intro. Is that crazy?
No, I don't remember it either. It's
Okay,
kind of sad.
cool.
Sorry, guys.
Listen, we're in the same boat.
Sorry,
But hey,
y'all.
here's the cool part is we're still married.
Yeah. That didn't change.
Podcast
Just busy married people.
Yeah, podcast fell off a little bit, but the marriage picked up, and I feel like we're doing amazing in that department.
This is true.
While we weren't podcasting, we were building a stronger bond, right? So it has been a couple of months.
Jeez, has it been that long?
If not longer. Yeah, it's been at least a couple of months since the last episode. So this one we're going to keep short, just kind of a catch up. What has happened, what are things that maybe have popped up that we want to share. But we're going to try to keep this one short and just kind of like grease the groove of podcasting again and get back into being here and being present with you guys and kind of sharing our marriage journey. So would you care to go first?
With updates?
Yeah.
I wish I knew the last time we actually sat down and did a podcast together. Because I know you're really, we're both really busy, but you've been really heavy on yours. So, gosh. I wrote a book.
Yes.
Was I writing a book at the time?
Exactly what I was thinking.
It's finished.
I think prior to the last episode, you were still in the process of putting the book together and like getting it out.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, I wrote a book. You were super supportive. So it helps to have a supportive partner. And that is out and available for purchase. Shameless plug.
Go for it.
The Power in Choosing You. You can get it on Amazon right now. I am in the process of getting it out on other platforms, but it's available in the like paperback format or let me get the full title. It's The Power in Choosing You, A Woman's Guide to Guilt-Free Self-Care. And you can get it, like I said, on Amazon right now through paperback or their Kindle if you are an ebook person. So that's one huge thing that happened. And again, I think I bring it up specifically in this podcast because it was, a supportive process. And I definitely couldn't have done it without you. So I appreciate you. And, it is important to support your partner. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. Just having, travels and our kids. We might have, I think we went somewhere. We went to Cancun probably during that time, right?
Yeah.
We, I'm trying to think like what relevant things.
You don't have to cover it all.
Right.
You can share some of these things.
Just working, living life, raising kids, being happily married, going on lots of dates. We went on a lot of dates too, like in this whole little winter, when our kids were on winter break.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I just want to share something that kind of going along with that is I saw on I want to say it was on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Dads Who Try put out a post about dating your wife, dating your significant other. Typically their content is about like fathers with young children and things you should do, not do.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular one was about strengthening the relationship with your wife or your significant other, and it's called the Rule of 7. And I think I might have brought it up back then, but I can't remember because it's so long ago. But the Rule of 7 is every 7 days you should go out on a date.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be like a nighttime date. Could be a coffee date. Just some time for you and your significant other to spend together. Every 7 weeks, you should take an overnight trip. Just you and her or you and him. And then every 7 months, you should go on a vacation. Just the two of you.
So like once a year, basically.
Basically,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So the idea is, one, there's some regularity there, right? And it's consistent. It's something that you both can look forward to. You know, you're having a tough week, but in 7 days or 3 days or whatever, you're going to have some time to kind of connect,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how crazy things are going with the
Right.
family. And then also, you're going to have an overnight trip, which is a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more special.
Yeah.
And you can plan for it and maybe kind of have some ideas for where you're going to go or what
Mm-hmm.
you're going to do. And then obviously we all love to vacation if
Right.
it's possible. And then 7 months gives you some time to prep
Yeah.
for it, to put the money aside or whatever you need to do, or plan accordingly, get good flights and nice places to stay and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the rule of seven has been really cool. I know we have like a standing lunch date that we keep on the
Mm-hmm.
calendar. We
Mm-hmm.
don't always keep the lunch date, but we keep it on the calendar,
Mm-hmm.
just as a reminder for us
Yeah.
to take that time for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think we've gone on a lot of cool dates.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and even just the lunch dates are cool because, you just get to see each other at a different time of day.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I always like get to see you in the daylight.
Yeah. In the daylight. Oh gosh, I don't know what I just said. In the daylight, and I was gonna say dressed for like work and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah. It's always cool because like we see each other in passing in the morning, and I pay attention to what you have on, but I don't see it. You know what I
right.
mean? And sometimes I do, but in general, it's like, okay, I'm headed out, you're headed out, or we're
Mm-hmm.
kind of in
Mm-hmm.
passing, or we're doing stuff.
Right.
But then to see how you show up in the world, I'm like, ooh, make you somebody's mama.
Oh gosh.
but yeah, no, it's really cool. It's really cool. I don't dress up, but I try to make sure that I look good, smell good.
Yes.
For those daytime days. Obviously, for the nighttime stuff, when you're going out like that, you want to try to dress up a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny too. Now that you brought the seven back up, I was wondering. I was wondering the other day why you were like really adamant about us doing that overnight, like back a couple weeks ago. When did we do it? A week,
two
2 weeks
weeks
ago.
ago. Uh-huh.
And
That
and
means
now
we
I
got 5
realize.
weeks until the next one.
Okay. But now it's like coming together. Like I know you wanted to do it in general, but it seemed like you were really like pressing for that week. So now that I'm now that you say the whole seven, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember that was like really that's something you found. It's something you were really focused on, like
Right.
making sure, like to make a habit, which I think is really cool. So
Yeah, because as
yeah.
I've said before, like you get into just being really comfortable.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You get into your routine, and not that you take your partner for granted, but you just don't get outside of the everyday stuff,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so having a set guideline for how you conduct yourself in that
Mm-hmm,
regard, I think is
mm-hmm.
really helpful
Yeah.
for me. Um, and it's one of those things where I go back to, if it's not instinct, it's got to be intent,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm,
When you get
mm-hmm.
caught up in doing the everyday stuff, it's not your instinct to go, hey, let's go on a date, right? Because
Right.
you're thinking
Yeah.
about,
You're
oh, I got to go
busy.
to practice, I got to do
Right.
this, I got to do that, I got to
Or
do
the
that.
kids have this, or
Right.
yeah.
So dating, and it's tax time. Dates ain't at the top of the
Right.
list, but if you make it something that you're intentional about,
Right.
you put it on the calendar, you schedule it out, or
Mm-hmm,
you put a
mm-hmm.
reminder in your phone, and you're like, oh, 5 more days.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, and that's like a little cheat code too, because it can feel spontaneous. Like I was like, "Ooh, this is spontaneous." Okay, sure, let's go. Like you see, but which is good, and
Mm-hmm.
so I think that helps because you know, we're talking about males and females a lot of times when we're speaking, but sometimes women out here want that, spontaneous date or that you were
Mm-hmm.
thinking about and all that. And they don't even have to know that you had a plan this whole time.
Right.
Apparently, right? Like it'll be spontaneous to them, right? But it was in your phone as a reminder. So that helped you out a little bit there.
Right. Right. And I mean,
And there's nothing wrong with that.
and it's hard too to like
Yeah.
be spontaneous all the
Yeah.
time. Like I don't have time to be spontaneous all the time, so I got to plan it.
Well, I was also telling someone like the world is not built for being spontaneous right now. Like you want to go some really, really cool or try this new place. Everything you have to reserve now. You have to call way in advance. You have to make plans way in advance. So you almost have to be intentional and thoughtful now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can be spontaneous with certain things, but if you want specific things, some things you have to book way in advance, and that's just what it is,
Right. Right.
So
And then too, it, like you said, it was spontaneous for you. Like you
yeah,
didn't know
for
difference,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
Because you didn't have to do the planning part. You
exactly.
just show up and
Yeah.
look good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's been a really, really cool thing that we have both, right? Because you've planned some stuff as well,
Yeah.
that we've both done to continue to date each other,
Right.
which is really important in a relationship, in any kind of relationship, but in a married relationship,
For sure.
new, old,
Mhm.
young relationship, 20 years relationship,
Doesn't matter.
whichever one you're in. The way that you got her is the way that you keep her, and that kind of stuff. And so you have to continue to show you appreciate each other.
Right.
And because our lives are so crazy sometimes,
Yeah.
yes, we could just have dinner at home together and watch a movie or have popcorn. That's great.
Yeah, we
But
can do that.
but
That's so
getting
nice.
out of being mom and dad and getting
Right.
out of being in our house, and we can
Mhm.
go out into the world and shoot, we could change our names if we want to. People don't
Right.
even and don't know who we are.
Right.
And we can go out and just explore the world together for that
Yes.
night.
Yeah. Have an
And
adventure.
and relive that courting that we
Yeah.
used to have, where we were both young and exciting and happy. And not that we're not happy now, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and the conversations are just so open and free and flowing, and you don't have to worry about like, oh, are the kids up? Are they asleep? Are you doing this? Whatever the case is. Like you just freely just get to be you, and with your partner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it definitely is different.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, what were you gonna talk about? We got into this like dating.
No, we were talking about updates, right? Things that we've done
Oh
since the
yeah,
last
lots of
episode.
dates.
Lots of dates.
Winery. We went to a cool winery in Napa.
Yeah.
Did something else. We did a Disney date. That was really fun.
Yes. We went to the Cellar in Fullerton.
Oh yes, and then stayed at a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
That was our overnight. That was nice.
We've gone to lunches, and I mean, we don't have to chronicle every single date, but
I was just thinking
you guys
because you
get the
had
picture.
mentioned something else cool, and I do remember doing something that's cool, but I can't remember it right now.
Yeah,
I think just trying new places that was a big thing for us too. That was
yeah,
really
because
nice.
that's something that we used to do when we were young, right? We should like find where's the because
I'm still
living. Okay, well, you got a couple months living in LA in an LA county. There's like celebrity restaurants that open up like every other week, or they're pretty frequently are opening up at. Well, I guess when we were first married, that was
we were living in Pasadena.
It was more of a thing then than I think it is now.
Yeah, I don't hear as much. You used to always find like the celebrity restaurants.
Yeah,
you were really good at that.
Because I used to hear about it from different people. Like we live in Pasadena at the gym. There'd be celebrities working out and just talking about stuff. And so I used to go and explore those new restaurants and give our own reviews to each other.
Right.
Right. Dang, we haven't been in a really long time.
Where?
Mr. Chow's.
Oh gosh, I don't even.
Right? Remember that was like a big thing though.
Yeah.
Mr. Chow's really and all of those places.
I wonder what's super popular now.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Maybe we should ask Drake. Drake knows. Drake knows for sure.
Oh wait,
Nobu.
I do know.
Oh, excuse me, young lady.
Yes.
What do you know?
I can't tell you. It might be a surprise.
Might be a surprise date. Be spontaneous.
Yeah.
Are celebrities gonna be there, or can I wear like a hoodie and some jeans?
No
hoodie and jeans. Huh?
No.
All right.
I'll tell you all about it later.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll give you guys the highlights. I do want in this shortened version of the episode, and we got like 15 minutes tops left, right? I do want to just kind of talk about why, because it's been so long. This is probably going to be like starting over, right? And people are going to be hearing it for the first time.
Semi
starting over, right? Listen, if I follow you on social media and I don't see nothing from you in 2 months, I am probably, you know what I mean?
Sticking with them.
If I listen to my favorite podcast and they just stop posting episodes, I'm looking for a new favorite podcast.
That's not true.
It is true because you
Fine.
fill that time with
No,
podcasts.
I'm joking. I know.
So,
If you're me, you're not though. Loyal.
so you just shut your podcast time off.
I
All right.
just am rarely on anything
Yeah.
consistently. So sorry. That's just
Right.
my life.
If somebody subscribed, then we'll just pop up and they'll be like, "Oh my god, they made a new episode." um, but I just want, again, like I said, I wanted to kind of talk about what the purpose of this podcast is, and why we decided to do it in 10 minutes or less. Can we do that?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Like we can actually do it in 10 minutes, or yeah, for sure we can do it.
10 minutes or less.
Oh, all right. You heard it here first. Okay. Do we want to just like, you want to give why you want to do it, and I do talk about why I want to do it?
You can go first.
Okay.
I just went first, so you can go
All right.
first.
So for me, the podcast was important, or is important, because, and I think it's just like my other podcasts. It's like I feel like this type of relationship, the marriage, a marriage is so important that it has to be a conversation, right? It has to be constant conversation around how to keep it, how to nurture it, how to improve it, how to work through it. And I do think that with marriages being, and I was just looking at the statistics, so I'm apologize. Marriages being like 50-50, right? And actually they're not 50-50 anymore. They're like 40 to 60%, right? Or 40 to 50%, which means 60 to 50% succeed. But I mean, a good amount of marriages end in divorce.
Oh,
Right.
right.
A good enough amount of marriages end in divorce. And I think there's a lot of talk about that. And there's a lot of talk about post marriage, right? What happens next, getting back into the dating world. There's all these relationship podcasts, but a lot of them are like dating. Like, what are you going to do next? Right.
Yeah.
A lot of the marriage podcasts are centered around marriages breaking up,
right,
or like ending, or
or toxic,
some kind of couples therapy type of situation, which I'm not against.
No.
And we probably will touch on some of those things at some point. But I wanted to do a podcast about marriage to talk more about the positives, how you can really be happy in a marriage.
Yeah.
How to put your partner's needs as a priority.
Yeah.
How to love someone, even through the struggles, right? How to learn someone's love language and fight language. How to be, completely empathetic to their situation.
Yeah.
Even though their situation might be you. But I think it was just a really important conversation. And I love talking to you. And so I've forced you to set aside time in your life to talk to me. And then too, I think there's something that can be gained from having this conversation in our marriage.
Yeah.
Between us.
Right.
Like, not that I'm a guru or that you're a guru, but I just think we're two people who have done a really good job of navigating all of the pitfalls that can kind of befell you in a relationship. And selfishly, I know that you guys that don't know, I have fatherhood podcast. So my purpose is my children. And selfishly, I know that the more marriages that we are able to help, or more married people we are to help, the more married people there are. Married people have better kids. Statistically, I'm not judging you. Married people have and raised healthier, happier kids. Those healthier, happier kids are going to live in the world with my kids. Right. So I need you guys to have great relationships with your partners and with your husband, with your wife, so that my kids don't have to deal with your crazy kids.
Oh, gosh.
You know what I mean? No, you're not going there with me. Okay, I'm just saying. I was just going all of
that's your reason.
That's like the 5%. 85% was everything else, but that 5% is like, you get your crazy kids together. What about you?
That was good. I think mostly the same, but to add something, I think a little different would be just the idea of like healthy, right, relationships and healthy marriages, and like you said, working through different things, and being able to have like the honor of being a part of like other people's lives, like as a therapist, as a coach, like that's an honor that I have. And so I hear different things on a regular basis, when I'm working with couples or women or men or whoever, and just like there's a lot of just misconceptions, a lot of miscommunication, a lot of unhealthy things happening, a lot of people not being able to just really live their authentic selves and lives in partnership as well. And so I think being able to discuss these things and these important topics, and for people to be able to, just have a space to go to hear and listen, like information, or even just us sharing our journey, or just saying, oh yeah, I've been through that, or oh okay, there's hope, or oh, okay, we can work through these different things, or okay, this is what a healthy relationship looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So like supporting people, but also being able to create like this, like hopefully this is something that lasts so that our kids can be in healthy relationships. And actually it was just really so sweet. Our oldest, she's so funny. When she was when she was I don't even know, like 7, she had declared that she was like never getting married and never having kids, and she just wanted to
Oh
live her
yeah,
best life for
yeah.
herself. And I was like, okay, girl. And then she's 10 now, soon to be 11, which is crazy. Oh my gosh, so crazy. But she said the other day, and hopefully, she won't mind me saying this, but it was so sweet. She was like, I want to, what did she say? She wants to be married one day, or be in love one day, or
I want to be
whatever.
in love. That's what she said.
Yeah, and we were like, "Oh, okay, like where is that coming from?" And like what? She's like, "No, no, no, not like right now or anything." She was just like, "I just love our life. I love you guys. Like you guys, I want, what you guys have. Like you guys seem happy, and we're happy, and we, I love our life, and I love you guys, and I want this." And I was like, okay, I want this for you
Right.
when you're old enough, right? Like, don't worry about it now. Don't think about it now, but at least you have like a foundation of something positive and healthy, and seeing healthy relationships. And I think that's super huge and important for
I agree.
people to understand. Like, we're always modeling for our kids, or even just for people around us. Because even in counseling, like I ask people all the time, like, do you have, models? Do you have examples of healthy relationships? And a lot of people don't. And it's just unfortunate. Like, we only get this one life to live. I say this all the time, but like, we only get this one life to live. Like, I want you to be happy. I want to be happy. I want things to be healthy. So whatever needs to happen for that to happen, like, let's do that. Right. And just having like open conversations is really nice. So that's a lot of my reason, is just to continue to help us, is to continue to set an example for our kids, and then to continue to put positive things out into the world, and healthy things out into the world. And like you said, like we've had to go through things in the last, oh gosh, 25 years, 20,
Roughly, yeah,
25
yeah.
almost. Because I think we told our story before. So if you rewind back to one of the other episodes, we've been together since high school. So about 25 years
Mm-hmm.
now. Oh my gosh, that so ages us. But about 25 years ago. And then we've been married. This year will be 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, like that's a lot. And to go through like high school together, and we had a breakup in college for a year and a half, and like just different things along the way. Like we've been through things like any other couple, like different things. And so, but I think there's, as long as it's healthy and positive, and you're growing in the direction together, I think there's a way to maintain and continue and have hope and have healthy, great relationships. So I'm not, recommending like staying in something toxic and unhealthy for a long period of time, and that's not what ours was at any point. It was just like just ups and downs like any other couple may have. So I think just having like a space to explore and talk, and just, give out positive vibes and health and good relationships is helpful. Well, oh my gosh, I might have made us go over 10 minutes. That was long. I did
That
not
was
mean to. go on and on and on. But
That's okay. That's you were right below 10 minutes actually.
yes.
So we kind of I don't want to end now, but I am going to because we made a promise that we're going to keep this one short. So stay tuned, right?
Yes.
The next episode will not be a catch up, right? Because we're all
Right.
caught up. Now we can start getting into the topics and start talking about some of those more important things, right? So
yeah, let us know like what you want to hear, what topics you want us to discuss, thoughts, opinions,
yeah,
etc.
yeah, we're open. We're open. We're obviously going to bring things that
Yeah.
that we see or that have come up for us, but I think a really good and important part of this podcast situation. And I think sometimes when I'm listening to podcasts, I'm kind of like I'll have questions, but I ain't got nobody to ask,
Right. Right.
and I can't like, because when you listen to podcasts and some of these bigger ones, they're like hundreds of episodes in, and I'm
Yeah.
listening to episode 70. So I'm gonna go and ask about episode 70. And like, what you talking about? I would like to for sure have a little bit more listener input
Yeah.
and like, hey, what's going on? This is what we're gonna be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like, what's your questions? So maybe we should do that. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
we can push for that a little bit and have the topic ahead of time and post about it on social media. And
Yeah.
then see what the feedback is and then kind of run with it one way or the other, or like questions. Because I think when you're trying to serve a community, you have to know what the community wants, right?
Yeah. Right.
So with that being said, since I made a commitment to my wife and I want to continue to stay committed and married to my wife, we are going to end the episode, and we will be back very soon.
Yes, we will.
With another episode. And like I said, we'll fish for some topics and we'll bring it to you.
Okay. I like it.
All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us.
you.
If you aren't yet following us on social media, you can follow us on Instagram at We Need to Talk About Pod. We need to talk about it cast. I'm all over the place. We need to talk about it cast on Instagram. And then yeah, let's just stay on Instagram for right now. We do have the other accounts, but I think Instagram is the one that we use primarily. And so you message us questions, DMs, all that stuff there. It's probably the easiest way to get in touch with us. Make
We're
sure
officially back.
Yeah, so make sure you like, you share, you subscribe, because we're back. You don't want to miss those episodes. Like if you hadn't subscribed, you probably didn't know this one was coming back. So make sure you subscribe, and we'll catch you guys soon.
Yes, I like it.
All right.
All right. Bye.
See ya.